sea of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Okay, auction time. Seems like everyone here has got the fever for the flavor. Alana, what are the headlines?
Flooding in Tennessee is expected to continue through the weekend. President Pence plans to visit the affected areas. The Federal Pandemic Agency has released new guidelines for combating the emerging viral outbreak.
It's under the ground.
What do you mean?
It's a bunker. It's like a bomb shelter or something where paranoid people go and live when they think it's the end of the world. Talk about overreacting. Just a bad flu season. You wash your hands, you don't buy a bunker. Am I right? Oh. Oh, no. There's got to be a vaccine.
Pamela, we talked about this. There is no vaccine.
Well, something fishy's going on, if you ask me. You mean to tell me the President of the United States doesn't have a vaccine?
And there's the presidential hearse as they head towards Arlington Cemetery. Michael Richard Pence, 46th President of the United States, dead at the age of 61.
Is that you? I love your bag outfit. Yeah. Safety first.
So, interesting times.
And, Robert?
Oh, he's a little under the weather.
Well, I, should be going. What are you doing in there?
I think it's best that I stay in here for the time being.
Do you have it?
I think so.
Air seal initiated.
Refried beans? Why didn't you fry them right the first time? Ugh. Oh, well, this is fun. Let's see what else we have. Desert, rainforest, city street, prairie, country field with an old red barn, Sphinx! Sphinx! There she is. He? There she is. He? Look, I know things are grim, but at least we're safe here. And I bet you there are lots of other bunkers out there just filled with scientists working on a vaccine as we speak. And once they figure it out, they'll give us the all clear and we'll be able to go back home. All right, there you go, Pamela, leveling off. Oh, everything. Well, if it isn't news anchor Lester Holt. Today's news, yum, yum. Today's news. Oh, what do we have over here?
It's just so quiet. It's gonna sound weird, but I miss the noise, you know? The sounds of cars driving and horns honking, people talking, laughing, radios, like just so empty. I mean, where are all the bodies?
You want to see bodies, spaceman? I'll show you bodies. There were big emergency staging areas like this in every city. Most people died in their own homes.
Well, at least they were around loved ones. It's not a horrible way to go.
Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, I'm nice too. I'm not afraid. Hi. My name is Pamela Brinton. Je m'appelle Pamela Brinton. I'm in a bunker. Please come find me. No!
Fatal error. Unit lost.
It is the first in-depth look at Vice President Mike Pence's time in the executive branch, and now the author is taking us inside the relationship of two men who really do seem like complete opposites. We're talking about the Vice President Mike Pence and the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Joining me now, CNN contributor Michael D'Antonio. He's a Donald Trump biographer and the author of this new book I have in my hands called The Shadow President, The Truth About Mike Pence. So let me just ask about the title, first of all.
Sure.
The Shadow President. I have it right here. What do you mean by that?
Well, absolutely everything that Mike Pence does is oriented toward him becoming president. His decision to accept Donald Trump's offer to be his running mate, but it even goes back much further. By the time he left high school, he had decided he was going to be president of the United States. And as he rose through life, becoming a member of Congress and then governor of Indiana, he actually sort of heard in his being God's direction. And he thought that God was calling him to now be vice president and function as a president in waiting. So we see Donald Trump in this huge crisis, this rolling chaos. And I think with every day, Mike Pence imagines he's one day closer to the Oval Office.
I'm not a huge fan of Mike Pence, but I do think it was just worth reminding people of that and causing maybe a little trouble. Maybe President Trump will see that and get a little annoyed, a little worried that Pence is maneuvering behind the scenes to, encourage people to replace him. So we have a little website, presidentpence.com, just to get that idea bouncing around out there.
Overnight, the White House making the historic decision to separate the president and vice president. Senior officials confirming President Trump and Vice President Pence will be kept apart due to coronavirus concerns, saying the two will maintain distance from each other in the immediate future.
We can talk on the phone.
The temporary separation comes after a Pence aide tested positive last week. ABC News has learned the vice president spent Monday away from the Oval Office wearing a mask while working in a neighboring building as the White House adopts new safety measures.
Just about everybody I've seen today has worn a mask.
The president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, seen wearing a mask during a Rose Garden news conference.
I wish you'd write honestly about it, but unfortunately, you choose not to do so.
The president coming in with a positive message.
We have met the moment, and we have prevailed.
Applauding the country's testing efforts.
We've prevailed on testing is what I'm referring to. There's nobody close to us in the world, and we certainly have done a great job on testing.
But our John Carl pointing out the contrast between testing at the White House versus everywhere else.
Your staff, your senior staff, as you just referenced, is able to get tested every day. When will it be that Americans across the country will be able to get tested every day as they go back to work?
Very soon. I mean, really very soon.
An experimental COVID-19 vaccine is showing encouraging results. Drug makers say they already tested the vaccine on 45 people and plan to open a large-scale study this summer. The news comes in the midst of a spike in cases across several states. Vice President Mike Pence departs for Arizona, one of the states suffering from an increase in coronavirus cases. His message: the federal government is ready to help, but individuals also need to take precautions.
Wash your hands, practice good hygiene, and wear a mask.
There's got to be a vaccine.
Pamela, we talked about this. There is no vaccine.
Well, something fishy's going on, if you ask me. You mean to tell me the President of the United States doesn't have a vaccine?
And there's the presidential hearse as they head towards Arlington Cemetery. Michael Richard Pence, 46th President of the United States, dead at the age of 61.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into